and it's, I guess, disheartening for anybody who has been excited by the pace of change in regard to decarbonisation, net zero policies by government and adherence to those, industries getting behind them, big businesses building it into their long-term strategies of how do I offset, how do I decarbonise, how do I get behind a government's net zero commitments. These are not fads. They're not things that fanatics do. They're things that big businesses do strategically over 10 and 20-year periods to meet, as it is in Australia, safeguard mechanism baselines and things like that over many, many years. So it's serious stuff. And then when you watch someone come along and commit to such a reversal in not just policy but philosophy on climate change, it's disheartening. And I'm keen to hear your take on how much long-term damage this might do to global climate change policy.
Well, there's no question that there is huge damage being done. President Trump has gone in and undermined a lot of President Biden's Inflation Reduction Act. There's been significant retrenchment in green energy standards, EV mandates. They've repealed the power of the Environmental Protection Agency to regulate greenhouse gas pollution. There's been a huge push for fossil fuel exports, basically a gutting of scientific research, scientific monitoring, turning off some of the satellites that are monitoring things and deleting databases. I mean, it's like going into a hospital and turning off the EKG machines because we don't want to hear the, bad outcomes. So I think in the short to medium term, that is going to do a lot of damage, and it is going to make it much harder for other countries to pursue strong decarbonization when you've got one of the leading countries in the world turning away from it. But in the long run, I think that the United States is swimming against the tide in this case. And the tide is strong, and it is going to result in decarbonization in the long run. And that's for several reasons. First of all, the Chinese are going to push it hard. So are the Europeans, so are the Australians, and so are many countries in Asia. And that's a powerful economic bloc. Secondly, you're going to see significant climate-related disasters. That's going to create public support for decarbonization. And three, the technology is coming along so quickly and so powerfully. The cost of renewables is dropping. Green energy makes sense. And I think that if you look at this from a longer-term perspective, it's hard to see how any U.S. administration can really derail global decarbonization. And that's why I'm, certainly personally strongly committed that, Finity to, helping companies in Australia, navigate the standards, and I'm a strong supporter of them here. And I think in the United States, eventually the U.S. will reverse course and come back to the party, so to speak, on climate. The problem is that it will be so far behind China and Europe and Australia and other countries that it's going to really put the U.S. at a serious economic disadvantage over time.